Top 10 Most Mysterious Disappearances in History. Introduction. History is filled with tales of people and groups who vanished without a trace, leaving behind puzzling mysteries that continue to baffle experts and intrigue the public. These disappearances often spark endless speculation, conspiracy theories, and even supernatural explanations. In this deep dive, we'll explore the details behind 10 of the most mysterious disappearances, examining the evidence, theories, and unanswered questions surrounding each case. 1. The disappearance of Amelia Earhart, 1937. Amelia Earhart was an aviation trailblazer, becoming the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean. In 1937, during her attempt to fly around the world, Earhart and her navigator, Fred Noonan, vanished over the Pacific Ocean. The flight and disappearance. On July 2, 1937, Earhart's plane, a Lockheed Electra, lost radio contact while approaching Howland Island, a tiny speck of land in the Pacific. Despite clear instructions to stay in contact with the U.S. Coast Guard, her last known transmission was fragmented and unclear, suggesting she was low on fuel. Search efforts. A massive search operation was launched, involving naval ships, planes, and even private vessels, but no wreckage was ever found. The U.S. government spent $4 million on the search, making it one of the most expensive rescue missions of its time. Theories. Crash and sink. The most widely accepted theory is that Earhart's plane ran out of fuel and crashed into the Pacific. Nikumaroro. Hypothesis. Some believe she landed on the uninhabited Nikumaroro Island and survived for a time. Artifacts such as bones, a shoe, and a sextant box were discovered there, but remain inconclusive. Captured by the Japanese. Another theory suggests she was captured by the Japanese military, possibly suspecting her of espionage. Legacy. Earhart's disappearance remains one of aviation's greatest mysteries, and her story continues to inspire adventurers and researchers alike. 2. The Lost Colony of Roanoke, 1587. The Roanoke colony was England's first attempt at establishing a permanent settlement in the New World. Led by John White, the settlers arrived on Roanoke Island in present-day North Carolina in 1587. The Vanishing. White returned to England to gather supplies, but when he came back in 1590, the settlement was deserted. There were no signs of violence, and the only clue was the word Croatoan, carved into a tree, and Caro, etched into a fence post. Theories. Integration with native tribes. Some historians believe the colonists assimilated with the Croatoan tribe, now known as the Hatteras tribe, as European artifacts have been found in Native American sites. Massacre or starvation. Others suggest the settlers were killed by hostile tribes, or succumbed to starvation due to harsh conditions. Spanish attack. Another possibility is that Spanish forces destroyed the colony to eliminate English competition in the Americas. Ongoing investigations. Archaeological digs continue to uncover clues, such as pottery and tools, but no definitive answers have emerged. The Roanoke mystery symbolizes the challenges of early colonization and the fragility of human endeavors in the face of nature and uncertainty. The Mary Celeste, 1872. The Mary Celeste, a brigantine merchant ship, was discovered adrift in the Atlantic Ocean on December 4th, 1872. The ship was in good condition, its cargo intact, and the crew's belongings undisturbed. However, the lifeboat was missing and the crew of 10 had vanished. Details of the mystery. The Mary Celeste was en route from New York to Genoa, Italy, carrying 1,701 barrels of industrial alcohol. When it was found, the ship's logbook revealed no signs of distress. Food and water supplies were sufficient, and there was no evidence of a struggle. Theories. piracy or mutiny. Though there were no signs of violence, some speculate the crew mutinied or were attacked by pirates. Alcohol explosion. A more plausible theory suggests that fumes from the alcohol cargo caused an explosion or fire scare, prompting the crew to abandon ship. Natural disaster. Others believe a rogue wave or waterspout may have swept the crew overboard. Enduring fascination. The Mary Celeste remains one of the most enduring maritime mysteries, inspiring books, films, and countless theories. The Sodder Children, 1945. On Christmas Eve 1945, a fire consumed the Sodder family's home in Fayetteville, West Virginia. George and Jenny Sodder, along with 5 of their 10 children, escaped. The remaining 5 children were presumed dead, but no remains were ever found in the ashes. Some suspicious circumstances. Before the fire, the family experienced strange incidents, such as a threatening phone call and sightings of a man watching the house. On the night of the fire, their phone line was cut and their ladder was missing, making rescue efforts impossible. Kidnapping. Some believe the children were abducted as part of a vendetta against George Sodder, who was outspoken against Mussolini and had enemies in the Italian-American community. Cover-up. Others suggest local authorities may have been involved in a cover-up, as the fire chief claimed to have found remains, but later admitted to fabricating evidence. Legacy. The Sodder family never stopped searching for their children, even putting up billboards and offering rewards. To this day, the case remains unsolved, leaving a haunting question. What really happened to the Sodder children? The disappearance of Flight MH370, 2014. Malaysia Airlines. Flight MH370 vanished on March 8, 2014, while en route from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. The Boeing 777, carrying 239 passengers and crew, disappeared from radar, sparking one of the most extensive and expensive search efforts in aviation history. The Vanishing Act. The plane's transponder was deliberately turned off, and it deviated from its flight path. Satellite data showed the aircraft flew for hours before disappearing over the southern Indian Ocean. Theories. Pilot suicide. Investigators suspect the pilot may have deliberately crashed the plane. Hijacking. Some speculate the plane was hijacked and taken to an undisclosed location. Mechanical failure. Another theory points to a catastrophic mechanical failure that incapacitated the crew. The search. Despite years of searching, only a few pieces of debris have been confirmed as belonging to MH370. The mystery continues to fuel speculation and debate. 6. The disappearance of D.B. Cooper, 1971. On November 24, 1971, a man known as D.B. Cooper hijacked a Northwest Orient Airlines flight, demanded $200,000 in ransom, and parachuted out of the plane with the money. He was never seen again. Details of the heist. Cooper boarded the flight under an alias and handed a note to a flight attendant claiming he had a bomb. After receiving the ransom and parachutes, he jumped from the plane over Washington State during a stormy night. Theories. Survival. Some believe Cooper survived and lived out his life in anonymity. Death. Others argue he perished in the wilderness due to the harsh conditions and lack of survival equipment. Legacy. The case remains the only unsolved hijacking in U.S. history, and Cooper's identity is still unknown. 7. The disappearance of Jimmy Hoffa, 1975. Jimmy Hoffa, a prominent labor union leader and president of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters, vanished on July 30, 1975. Hoffa was last seen outside the Machu's Red Fox restaurant in Bloomfield Township, Michigan, where he was supposed to meet with 2 mobsters. Background. Hoffa was a controversial figure with deep ties to organized crime. After serving time in prison for jury tampering and fraud, He was attempting to regain control of the Teamsters Union, a move that may have threatened powerful figures in the mob. Now move forward to theories. Mob hit. The most widely accepted theory is that Hoffa was killed by the mafia to prevent him from regaining power. Alleged mob hitmen, like Frank Sheeran, featured in The Irishman, have claimed responsibility, but no evidence has confirmed these accounts. Buried under Giant Stadium. A popular urban legend claims Hoffa's body was buried under the now demolished Giant Stadium in New Jersey. Cremation. Some believe Hoffa's body was incinerated to destroy all evidence of the crime. Ongoing mystery. Despite numerous investigations, searches, and confessions, Hoffa's remains have never been found. His disappearance remains one of the most infamous unsolved cases in U.S. history. 8. The Vanishing of the Flannan Isles. Lighthouse Keepers, 1900. In December 1900, 3 lighthouse keepers, Thomas Marshall, James Ducat, and Donald MacArthur, disappeared from the remote Flannan Isles off the coast of Scotland. When a relief ship arrived on December 26th, the lighthouse was deserted. The scene. Inside the lighthouse, everything was in order except for the missing men. The clocks had stopped, and the logbook contained strange entries about severe weather and a sense of foreboding. Theories. Rogue wave. A giant wave may have swept the men into the sea while they were securing equipment during a storm. Murder-suicide. Some speculate tensions among the keepers led to violence. Supernatural causes. Folklore suggests the men were taken by spirits or otherworldly forces, adding an eerie layer to the mystery. Legacy. The Flannan Isles disappearance has inspired poems, songs, and films, cementing its place in maritime lore. 9. The Disappearance of Natalie Holloway, 2005. Natalie Holloway, an 18-year-old high school graduate from Alabama, vanished while on a graduation trip to Aruba in May 2005. She was last seen leaving a nightclub with Joran van der Sloot, a Dutch national. Investigation shows that, despite extensive searches, no trace of Natalie was found. Van der Sloot was arrested multiple times but never charged due to lack of evidence. In 2010, he was convicted of murdering another young woman in Peru, reigniting suspicions about his involvement in Natalie's disappearance. Theories about it. Murder. Many believe Van der Sloot killed Natalie and disposed of her body, possibly with help from others. Human trafficking. Some speculate she was abducted and sold into trafficking. Accidental death. Another theory suggests that she may have died accidentally and her death was covered up. Impact. Natalie's case drew international attention and highlighted issues of safety and justice in foreign countries. Her family continues to seek answers. 10. The Disappearance of Harold Holt, 1967. Harold Holt, the 17th Prime Minister of Australia, disappeared on December 17, 1967, while swimming at Cheviot Beach near Melbourne. Despite being a strong swimmer, Holt vanished in rough waters and was never seen again. Incident happened on that time. Holt was swimming with friends when he suddenly went too far out into the ocean. Witnesses reported strong currents and high waves, but no one could save him. Theories about it. Drowning. The official explanation is that Holt drowned due to the dangerous conditions. Suicide. Some suggest he may have intentionally ended his life due to political pressures. Espionage. A bizarre conspiracy theory claims Holt was a Chinese spy who faked his death to defect to China. Legacy. Holt's disappearance shocked the nation and remains a topic of fascination. A memorial was built in his honor, but his body has never been found. These disappearances remind us of the fragility of human life and the enduring allure of the unknown. Whether lost to the sea, the wilderness, or the shadows of history, These individuals and events leave behind questions that may never be answered. They compel us to explore, investigate, and imagine, ensuring their stories will not be forgotten.